Hello everyone, and welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon. We have a 2v2 for you guys today that was part of the Adopt-A-Noob tourney on the Blitzwar community channel. Great place to find some good games, find some good players, and the tourney has been a lot of fun. And for this replay, we were fighting against TheMintJellyMan and FeelsGoodLost, and I was on the same team as TheJellyman. Now, for this replay, I do have some help with the replay and the commentary itself, in the form of both Rara and TheJellyman, TheMintJellyman, my teammate here, the Major General, if you guys want to say hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Thank you guys both for joining this. I have some trouble casting the just higher level games, and of course Grape Jelly is a Major General, TheMintJellyman is a General. It was some very scary opposition. I think Jelly, you said this was the match we were sort of most afraid of so far, right?
I think probably the strongest team, at least from what I've seen.
So we're a little into it already, haven't really talked about the game yet, so do you want to just tell people what our sort of opening strategy was here in Delta?
Well, we're opening against US and I believe it's Israel Mech. Nick playing Israel Mech and FeelsGoodLost playing US. Neither of them are going to have any real wheeled vehicles that can contest our opener, because we have the AMX-10 RCs. So we opened with a fast opener into the town with Core Mariner, as well as we only need 3 supers. We don't really need 2 players on double super because they only have 2 supers max.
Yeah, Mechanized doesn't have those tools, right? So my 2A5s are here in Delta moving up. And then with this town, I think we were hoping to rotate over into Alpha. Kind of funny side note, by the way, my AMX-13 and the 1390 both go up. These will both disappear relatively shortly. And another little oddity, we did immediately spot the super heavies from Lost here, M1A2 Abrams right there. Bit of an odd placement, I haven't really seen that before. I don't know if it seemed to work pretty well for pincering, so shooting in from that angle, shooting in from here. But I'm going to be able just to get a Mars online for that, and even if it doesn't kill, it will hopefully zone them out, make that player sort of pull them back, get a little bit of resupply before they push in again. It basically buys us some time, right? And you can see this opener has done pretty well. We have the town, as Osama bin Laden calls it, the suicide town on this map. Everyone just mashes things into. But Ice Shermans are really effective, Bedouins are really effective, and my Commandos Para are misplaced. So this is something I struggle with a lot, getting recon infantry far up in these zones. I don't know why. Like, I know you're supposed to do it. I know in theory how to do it, and yet I lose track of it in the opener, and it comes back to bite me so often. So at this point, Jelly, what were you sort of thinking for our odds here, for how well this worked compared to what we had hoped, and next steps?
I guess the thought was, like, kind of where is their opener? Because, well, we see the 2, and then, alright, there it is, the LAR-160s coming in, which are going to be a persistent issue throughout the match as cluster artillery that TheMintJellyman really loves.
Yeah, 100 points each, Israeli cluster artillery, and the number of shots is insane. I mean, I think I have higher AP on the Mars.
For sure.
But way fewer shots,
Got
which...
4.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment it's like they haven't really fed anything or like tried to push us out of the town, and because they didn't really have anything that could contest the town, we've actually opened with ATGMs already in there.
Yeah, and by the way, I was kind of sad about this. I did counterfire directly, but that's already gone. The LAR-160 is moving up here on the hill, just not really going to be.
At the front as well.
Ooh, yeah, let's take a look. That was a ping.
I think that it was just
an man.
M1A2 going down already.
Oh, yeah, okay, so...
Who did ATGM crossfire.
Yep. Sorry I missed that one there, guys. Milan 2 on that side, Milan 2 on this side, and the turn to face will block one, but not the other. So I think I did steal that sneaky little kill from you there, and then just moving the Milan 2 team to try to avoid the retaliatory mortar fire. Missed the highlight of the game. Oh, man. Pro recorder right here. Pro YouTuber. Speaking of, if you guys don't mind doing the whole like, share, subscribe thing, I tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, I won't say a damn word for at least 2 months. So that's your incentive right there. Until then, I'm gonna have to ask. It's just how those things go. So 2A5s are rotating in. I kind of didn't know what to do with these at the moment. And we've had some success with this before. Well, at least I have in 1v1s and in team games, where particularly if you have a presence in Alpha, you move forward and the 2A5s and your super heavies can provide a surprisingly high amount of punch from an unexpected position. But I mean, both teams were sort of zoning themselves out in Delta. It just felt like an awkward engagement. Wasn't really sure how I could have handled that any better.
Yeah, we're just kind of standing off here. I'm perpetually smoking the town to keep the Eye Shermans from shooting the Corps Mariner in the town. And he's got Rovite very nearby, but if they walk through the smoke, they're going to get instantly melted by the Corps Mariner, and it's just kind of this awkward standoff for the time being.
Yeah, so this is something too. Like, it's really tempting in situations like this to smoke your opponent's position with the idea of, oh, if they're in the smoke, they can't see. And I think where that kind of goes wrong is your smoke was denying their fire support. If you smoke their position, they just move forward. We basically extend their woods, which is the opposite of what you want to do in a situation like that. Ooh, here we go. Corps Mariner get caught out.
That is a big micro mistake.
Yeah,
A
so
greedy mistake.
what just happened there, just so you guys know, I guess, is they were hopping between the town, and there's just a fraction of a second where they're considered not in a town, and an HE shell landed dead center on...
15 HE.
Yep, all 3 squads. Very, very, very expensive, and
Over 100 points. Ugh.
I think the benefit for us right now is they didn't know that happened. So they know there's Commander Marine in there,
So.
and like that sort of strike you wouldn't expect to kill a triple stack. You'd expect it still there, and they're not taking advantage of it either, right? So I think
They might not be able to, because we have this tank advantage. I mean, well, the tanks aren't quite in position to deny them access at the moment, but we still do have stuff like those ATGMs in the field that are just gonna
anything moves up, it's gonna
dissuade
have a
them
bad
from
day.
moving in. Yeah.
I think, by the way, this is the moment where I do catch at least one piece of artillery, the MAR-290s. It's a bit tricky when you have several sections of arty. Oh no, never mind.
I think they've actually already moved. And
Yeah.
he-
So
maybe,
far.
Maybe he thinks you're shooting at them now.
Yeah, so
Or maybe it's the next volley.
this is my problem too. So my Mars was shooting and then sort of rotating clockwise in a very predictable pattern right around my fob. That is, it's easy, and it will do the trick against people who don't have a lot of cluster to hit you back at you with, because things like tube artillery will miss. But against widespread cluster like the LAR-160, it's not a great idea, so we'll have to see how that goes. Panzergrunt here, moving up, taking out some Oxidrite, very nice sort of wraparound there. And I mean, we have a good presence in Alpha, we don't have a ton here, but the Panzergrunt 90 projecting force forward is probably going to be a large deterrent for the Red 4 team, which buys us time, it buys us board position, and those are the 2 things you need in a game of Conquest. By the way, command infantry walking their way up, I was looking for this section of trees, which turns out it is actually dense forest, or dense hedged farmland, I suppose, which I hadn't realized, and I guess we're just going to go there and hide, because who expects it to be there, right? And with the amount of artillery coming out of Echo, I was really paranoid about if you send it into the predictable spots, they're just going to get artillery, particularly in the late game, if we have an edge that our opponents want to deny us. So, Commandos Para got surprisingly far up. I have made a crucial micro mistake and left on their tertiary, which is never a good idea. But, you know, the one time I do sneak through forest, it's not at all in Delta, so, man.
It can be tricky. You see it counter spotted in Delta, and yeah, it's pretty difficult. Well, the most important thing I think in Delta is, like, the best thing you can do is have 2 recon squads. Like 1 on each side, like you have with the Commandos Para. Maybe the forest in between the Milan and this squad is a little better, because you'll actually counter spot where the Abrams is.
Yeah, which we
you'll
do get
passively
just
spot
there.
ATGMs.
Yeah. Is there a risk if you use this one of being spotted by the town? That seems like it would be too far away.
Yeah, I think that would be too far away. Can't
There
be
goes the
100%
Mars.
sure.
Man, that really hurt.
Yeah.
I took one
It's
up
just,
vetted.
even if you move this, the spread is so big on
Yeah,
those
I
things.
mean, that's just... Look at that. I should have taken 2 down vetted. I've since changed that deck to have 2 down vetted. And by the way, they noticed that we spotted the Command Abrams. So it's still where it originally was, but now we won't be able to hit it with ATGMs or ATGM planes, anything like that. It's going to have to be indirect fire, or we're going to have to charge right down Delta, and there's at least one 1A2 still back there. So I want no part of that. And because this has been a little bit standoffish, I'm going to just go up to speed 2. I think this is sort of predictable. Ooh.
Oh, just
Ouch.
to add about the recon, the other thing that's pretty important is to make sure you're going to the end of the forest, like you've done with the 1-man Commandos Para squad. Coming to the end will allow you to spot the other forest, your opponent's forest, considerably more.
Huh. Fair enough. And I guess if you can spot their recon, I guess you could probably assume they're spotting yours as well. But good mortar support, getting those kills.
Got more of that HA.
Right, right. Blind them, and they can't fight. At least not as effectively as you can with good optics. So, more core mariners moving up into the town. Milan 2 team getting at least one of those M163s, and these guys, do not underestimate them. I used to laugh at these guys when I saw them on the field because they look a little goofy, right? It's a sort of awkward box, only one armor all around, and a single gun without that great range. But these guys will absolutely destroy infantry at close range. It's really pretty crazy. You have to kind of see it to believe it. Superintendent does get a Magach 7C Gimel, and we get out of dodge just barely there. Probably not the best call in the world. I was hoping to get both the Magachs, but this is something I think you commented on when we were just talking about it before, but I really didn't know how to defend against this very well. It's such an uncommon place, at least not common in my experience, to get pushed in this game, where the focus is usually Delta and Alpha, because people for some reason tend to love to fight in Alpha. I really don't quite get it. But, yeah, I don't know. So I wasn't really sure what to buy, and I bought a lone Leopard 2A1. So, I mean, we do have Recon coming up with a VAB and with the 1390s, but the 2A1 here does not have any anti-air. It's a 100 point sort of nice thing for people to chew on if they have the opportunity, kind of just like I did with the Magach 7C Gimel.
Just about to mention it.
Yeah.
So perfect analog.
Yeah, well, live and learn, I suppose. We did also see they spotted the Crotal before that cluster came in, which meant there's something over here. Probably not a helicopter, we would have seen it, which means something on the ground, and so that immediately is going to just have me move the reservists up, the VABs up, the AMX-13s around, the reservists around. We'll find it, we'll take it out. I don't think it was too much of a concern, just a little bit annoying to lose that Crotal. But here comes the plane train, and every game, this is a best of 3, so we'll have another couple games, hopefully with the other commentators as well. The plane train from Nick-to-Man and its resilience was always something that surprised me, because usually things like that, you can take them out decently well with things like the Hawkioses, other sort of tools like that, and I could not, for the life of me, shake his plane tab. It was incredible.
I think part of this is also the LAR 160 with this 4 AP. It's two-shotting most AA with its 0 armor.
Gotcha, like you lost a Heos there. I don't think people really call out singular Heoses.
No. But yeah, this LAR 160, I mean, we saw Crotal go down. I'm sure we'll see plenty more AA go down to the LAR 160s, which is definitely going to help that.
So you're pinging help over here, or was I pinging help over there? Not sure. And the Leopard 2A1 is arriving, Commandos Para arriving, and I mean, Aksarits are scary. Israel is very scary for a reason. Look at that. Took a shot right in the dome piece from a 2A1, still has half its original health. These guys have insane amounts of frontal armor for the point cost. We do get the kill there, but let's see, a couple of beacons. Yeah, I guess were you telling me to go around through the woods?
I'm not 100% sure. Probably.
Top tier communication from both of us. Not even sure what it was after the fact. And this is
funny, looking at the beginning of these replays, and you see all of the pings coming down. Oh, we have something here, and we're gonna push here, and yeah.
Particularly things like Adopt-A-Noob, where the focus is really on expert players really helping newer players learn the ropes and get a little bit better at the game, which I have to say, it's been wonderful learning just how to be better at this from you. And Kurnos is going to be really emphasizing that particular lesson. We do survive with 1 health, which surprised me at the time. I kind of wonder why that was. But this tank is functionally useless. It's 1 strength.
Wondering why the Kurnos, it actually has 50% accuracy on its bombs. Both need to hit 3 top armor to kill it, but you'll still see them kill sometimes because they'll hit like rear armor and do a lot of damage sometimes, but...
Gotcha,
like,
so the miss won't fully miss.
Yeah, the Nighthawk will almost always like guaranteed kill the tank because it's coming on elite and has really high accuracy because of that.
Gotcha, so this was a pretty scary moment for me. We weren't losing much of a zone, but they do get into the town in the middle, and there's a lot of force here. M1A2, double M1, M2A2 Bradleys, M113A03s, And my tanks were here, we got a couple of nice shots in, we got a couple of nice kills, but this is a huge investment, and we've been getting clustered all game, so I was really nervous the whole time that I was just going to get clustered. Super Entendant was looking for the Command Abrams, but didn't get it. More smoke on him, and we're going to be evac ordered. Getting out, hopefully, no.
Oof.
Last second. Yeah, at the very last second. Most factions, I think I would have been safe, but USA, Patriot, is long range, and it will punish you for thoughtless plane buys. So, yeah, well, you can't treat every faction the same. You have to realize what you're playing with, the tools that you have, and what you're playing against. So this is another one of those tools that Israel had, and it's just the LAR 260 going at it again. Dead 2A1, dead AMXs.
Dead Crotal.
Yep, dead Crotal. Yeah, just huge value, because keep in mind, yeah, 2 LAR 160s, they're 100 points apiece, 200 points total, nearly just paid for themselves off the Crotal.
He may be down a LAR 160 by now. No, he's not. I see him firing.
Yeah. Well, we killed one, but he replaced it. Israel takes 3 down vet. Ooh, I think he just popped that Nighthawk.
Yeah, the 0 ACM is not doing it any favors, which is a shame for them, because if it was just a little bit later, it probably would have gotten away with all of the other planes in the air.
Gotcha. Shahawks are coming in, and I don't...
He did kill our tank CB in the zone, though, with that Nighthawk.
Yeah, which, you know, we're up 122 points to 7. There's still 23 minutes left in the match. If they get a +1, we're toast. We're toast by about a factor of 2, so... we really had to do something about it. The nice thing, I think, was that we were very comfortable in Alpha. If they wanted to push in here, they're going through Corps Mariner, through Astute Truppen, through Martyrs, lots and lots of numbers. And, man, the 50-point Shahak trading into a Tiger, I was frustrated by that during the game, because it's never what you want to see.
I think it's important to note, though, I think that we are a lot more comfortable in Alpha than they are in Delta, and these are the two primarily contested zones, are Alpha and Delta. Even though, like, we can still put a tank CV in the corner and smoke it, where in Alpha you can't really do that. There's no space that's safe.
Right, particularly, they have to push us back pretty far too, and then it gives them one option. So
yeah, exactly.
It's one of those, like, I wonder where it is, and then what you're doing right here is what I was going to highlight next, which is if you control the entirety of Alpha, this town is pretty trivial to retake from what I've seen.
It certainly can be. It just depends, because we have the tank supremacy. We've got all of these supers, I think 3 2A5s at the moment. Like, yeah, it's not even going to be nearly an issue.
Now, this does really suck. My 2A5s, one of them wasn't quite at full strength, gets absolutely pounded by that Kurnos, and I was sitting there just annoyed at myself for it, because it's mistakes like that that can lose you the game.
It may have been at full strength, are you sure? Because if both of those bombs hit, it will one-shot the 2A5.
They may well have both hit, but one was at 7 strength, one was at 10, so right. This guy was the one at 10, he's now at 8. Unless the Kurnos was a missile of goodwill and yielded him 1, which I don't think is too likely, unfortunately. I would love that. I'd probably get kicked out of the tourney for cheating, though, so maybe not the best. Vabs did get through all the way to here, and even if they don't get a lot of kills, which I think we did kill a couple of things, maybe a mortar.
Some supply trucks, it looks like.
Yeah, it does distract him, and that has to... There's nothing more demoralizing, in my opinion, than, you know, thinking you're gaining ground, doing all this stuff on the ground in the game, and then all of a sudden there's a red ping near your base, right? So even if it didn't accomplish much tactically, this game includes psychology as well to it, which, you know, I don't want to sound too pretentious saying it's, you know, the game of scholars and gentlemen, far from it. But you have to be in a good headspace, and if you can shake your opponent out of a good headspace with something small, it can definitely give you an advantage later on, which was always really hoping to do there. I knew the Vabs would die, but, you know, if we can shake them up, because their front line's been here for a while, and all of a sudden there's something way back near their base, right? If it were me, actually, I'm curious if they did, but if it were me, I would be immediately buying some base defense for that side, just expecting more stuff to come through the woods.
If we look, they actually had those two Shahaks were actually a Nictoman's opener. I'm sure that they were maybe not worried, but definitely taking precautions against us getting into their base or potentially sniping their fobs, because they're definitely playing, Israel is in particular, a very arty reliant deck, at least the way that it's set up.
So if we had gone, heavy helicopters into Echo at the
Yeah,
beginning...
the two Shahaks were hanging out on the right side of the map.
Now, I do also want to note...
I'm positive that they will have a decent amount of base defense if we were to swap right now.
Gotcha. I do also want to note the tournament rules prohibited more than 300 points of helicopters per lane per player, I think?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, just vaguely. So, a true helicopter rush where, you just go no holds barred. Yeah. And that's just, it's some of the gentility of the tourney that I think is much appreciated. It gets people to be having fewer games where everyone comes away frustrated, because I've been Helo Rush before, I've been Mech Rush before, I've maybe even possibly done one of those before myself, and it leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. It's sort of like
competitive,
right? And it's sort of like RDing the opener, which I believe is also prohibited by the tourney rules. It's just, is it good for you? Sure, oftentimes it is. Can it win a game outright in the first 40 seconds? Yeah, it can. But
it's a bit different than something like a Helo Rush, where unless you're specifically prepared for the Helo Rush, you kind of just lose. Like, you can't prevent the Helo Rush if it's executed properly. But already in the opener, it can definitely be cheesy, and especially in some of these team games where you're not really giving up a lot of your opener potential, because that's like, in 1v1 at least, RDing the road, you're giving up, like, by an Uragan, you're spending
15%, 16% of your opener.
Yeah, I mean, minus the fob and minus the CV. Like, you're spending a decent chunk of your opener on that.
I don't know, I still think for team games, RT in the opener is like, puts the person who's artillering at a disadvantage. I think 140 points not on the front line is going to cost them a lot more than 10 seconds.
I'd say that it's more negligible than in something like a 1v1, though.
Yeah.
Just strictly out of like the percentages of your fielded units versus your...
Unlike Helo Rushes, it is easily counterable. You just press stop on the corner.
Goodness gracious, look at that plane train. Kurnos 2000, regular Kurnos, Baz, Barak 2.
Kurnos 2000 as well.
Yeah, so that's the big bad. He's coming for your radar AA. Not gonna miss. Yeah, man, Sparrows. Huh. Really capable. Is that that's 120 points for that? That's absurd.
It's a steal.
Yeah. So now most of my reinforcements are coming in over on the left-hand side. KWSs.
Here's our response.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 KWSs and an MLU, and still, I mean, they're much more confident with that than we were. They were coming all the way out near Alpha. We were just back in Charlie.
We have a lot more to lose.
Well, it's just a flex. It's like, don't try anything funny.
Their planes are kind of, I don't know. They can't really force us out with tanks. Like, they can't brute force us with their tanks just because, I mean...
Something tells me they're gonna give it a try.
Lost an M1A2.
Yeah, that is fair. That's fair.
Their aircraft, I'd say, are probably their most effective and simplest way back into this game.
Now, we are ticking +1.
Yeah, this is really bad. The +1 tick on this map is pretty substantial, just because it's incredibly difficult to get a +2.
I am curious, just in hindsight,
anchored in Alpha.
Why didn't we cap Delta already? Was the idea just too few places to hide, or...?
I think that...
Forgot about it.
There's a couple reasons. We lost our first Leopard 2 CV in there. We're not being ticked if we don't have a CV in there, or if they don't. Like, alright, so if they have a CV in there, we're not being ticked. So it's not like a complete disaster.
Right, and we had some threatening things on the board right now, so I think I hadn't really stopped buying units the whole time.
The planes are really bad too. Like, we really don't want them to start running this plane train cost effectively and like getting out over and over again, and the losses start mounting.
And then sort of what we said... Oh, go ahead.
No, the CV is very expensive. The only CV worth putting in here is, well, if you can sneak an infantry CV, which is pretty risky, chances are it's going to get hit by a mortar. Oh boy, here it comes again. This is why we don't want to be buying. Yeah.
Would you go for the ASF? I thought I would go for the seed.
I send for the seed, and look at this. KWS has hit 1 out of 6 AMRAAMs.
Yeah, man. Damn. That is rough.
It do be like that
Absolutely
sometimes, but
brutal.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So many points just lost right there. I think I lost my KWS as well,
Did
so
we
we
get
lost
anything?
3.
I think we got a
I don't
Carlos,
think
I
so.
want to say.
I'm not sure. I
No,
really
the
don't know.
Kronasis evac like way.
Yeah, evac way
Oh,
back in
man.
Foxtrot.
Oh,
I think we just took it on the
I hate the
chin.
dice roll game.
Yeah, playing casino.
Yeah.
No, but here we go. Back to the CV before. Wow, yeah, before the CV deletion squad came in. The only CV that is like consistently worth putting in here is a
Azari?
170. I mean, that the only CV we have is probably the Leopard 2 CV,
Yeah.
and it's incredibly survivable. I'm a huge fan of it. They have the Abrams CV. They had it at first, but if you look in our base, I've been shelling that all game with these M110s, just 2 of them.
Yeah, and you did get the
And-
kill earlier, that's why it decapped. They've replaced it now with an
Yeah,
Oxidate.
it's actually killed their 170 point CV, and it
Did
takes a
for
long
us.
time, but the 10 HE guns will kill.
Oh, come on, side shot, peace
anything.
run. Oh.
Yeah, no, they
He
frontal
takes it on
face
the
it.
chin.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
By the way,
These 10 HE guns, they'll kill anything. It just takes time and corrected shot.
the double
Yeah.
roll in 3 was something I had never really done, and I cannot think of a single anti-air combination I like better than this guy.
Oh, it's really solid.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
I
so
think
much
the only
good.
thing that I like better is the track rapier. Slightly cheaper,
yeah.
almost as accurate, and they have 8 shots each.
Well,
Was it
and-
8 or 6 shots each?
and the
Roller
cost
3s,
really...
they fire 1, 2, and then they have to reload. So against
Yeah.
25 keys and against 810s, not so good.
Yeah,
But the
Specific matchups.
accuracy is insane, though. The accuracy is insane.
you can
Any
get better
Once
these guys are
performance
elite-
out of more expensive ones, but
Yeah, no,
I
no.
mean, 65 points, this is pretty phenomenal. So it's
I
130
get the
points for
French
double.
one.
And
More survivable against HE artillery.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I
for the
think...
French one.
Ooh, what the heck are we... Oh, yeah. I had asked you
This is
for
the
the
way-
path to follow
The path
Panzergren
to
90.
the
sky.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just-
think the difference between the two Rolands is like one is better
Beast
against flash
defense?
artillery, and the other one's better against like
Cluster.
corrected shot mortars,
Hmm.
where it's
Oh,
actually
yeah,
going to hit
yeah,
top
yeah.
armor,
The
and the
top
extra
armor,
speed
yeah.
might be a little. It's definitely just a trade-off,
Yeah.
though.
Side note, all those pings, I don't listen.
Just
Because,
send it.
well, because of that base
You've been
defense.
discovered, yeah.
That was an M163, I think, 20-point vehicle, and yeah, it's been discovered. I didn't want to take the time to go around there, give them time to get recon helicopters back here, so we're just going to turn and go, and we'll see how that goes. But this is getting stressful. They've gotten past the force on the left. That's a quad stack of Rovite, which is... it's a lot of meat right there, you know?
It's
And
important to note, we're approaching the 10-minute mark. We have 150 tech, or 168, but so we have just about 10 minutes of tech.
I don't think you have
plus
anything to
one.
be worried about at this point.
Yeah,
Brave
it may
KWS.
appear to be absolutely like, oh my god, they're applying pressure on like our quote-unquote given zone, Charlie.
It's super
But
hard to decap Charlie, I think.
They
Like,
need
you can
essentially
take-
they need to keep a +2 for a decent amount of time so that they get past the draw area. And we still have a decent, like, we have a good enough foothold in Delta that we can just park the tank CV and smoke in there.
yeah, fair.
As well
Yep.
as we're still putting pressure on their CV by these M110s coming in.
Why did I call
Actually,
out the
like, bunch
super
of sneakers, infantry
there's tanks
CV
up
into
there.
Delta on the AMX 13 side. Do you think you'll be
Uh,
able to spot that? Like, if you want to look at the
what's that?
neutral
Through
at Delta,
Delta
like
here?
the bottom right corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
do you
we
think you could
just-
sneak an infantry CV?
We probably
You
could.
could. It's just
But I
like,
think
it's dangerous because they see it for 1 second, they see the transport, and then they drop mortars on you, and it's up 100 points
right.
down
No,
the
so you
drain.
unload it in the town, and then like you from the town you walk it into the.
I just always think it's safer. Like, you spend 170 points on the Leopard 2 CV, and you're guaranteed tick. You're never gonna have to. Oh my god.
Double M1 Abrams. I was so
yes.
happy.
Oh,
And yeah, I mean, we
Base
we
M1?
lose it after
Oh!
this. Yep.
oh, you're blocking the spawn. There we go. Best
Yep.
Panzer Grenadier 90.
Most value ever. I only wish I hadn't moved. I didn't realize he was shooting him at the time.
Oh yeah, the CS. Yeah.
Another
Yeah.
thing on the CS, this thing you might not realize has no salvo size, so it just continues shooting forever
Until
until
it's-
whatever it's shooting is dead.
This
Until
was
it's done.
terrifying.
Yes, this is a bit
A10
worrying.
planes, but somewhat a little bit goofy. Let's actually go a little bit slow motion here for a second. Super Entendant is going after the M1A2, does not get stunned by the Barak. We lose vision, and it gets the kill.
No! No! Yes!
Yeah.
Wait, does it side shot the HC as well? Zoom. Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
didn't
got
get
the HC. I
Oh,
think I
man.
got them both. Yeah.
I didn't realize you got them both.
Actually, I'm not entirely sure. Let's take a look. No, okay,
Oh,
yeah,
no, you
just the
didn't. Oh.
M1A2. Just
Oh,
the
he has a
super
CV
heavy.
ready. He has a CV ready to walk into the zone.
Yeah, okay.
They've got to get it in there.
Well, here, look at this.
Nah, but
Look at
even
the
if they
amount
get
of
it in-
red, and then the amount
Yeah.
of blue.
And this is why I think the air in particular was what we were mainly worried about. Just because they've got all this stuff on the ground, but we can delay for a very
Oh,
long
look at that!
time
Look at
with
that
what we
single
have.
Slow
shot
motion.
crit with the
Oh.
Roland. The single shot crit. Is that a 15? F15? Or maybe it's a the Israeli one.
Yeah. Command Abrams coming in. I've got a Leclerc, I've got a 2A1, I've got a Gazelle Hot, which I like these guys a lot. They're surprisingly effective, and 2 Panzergren 90 are not yet done. So, but I mean, this is how they get a +1, and they'll at least.
Even if they decap Charlie, there's nothing they can do still. Like, they have to.
We still have this solid hold on Alpha. Like, we're not losing that.
No, this is
Yeah,
ours.
Delta as well. Delta's still kind of secure.
Yeah, if they had taken everything.
Roller
away
3,
from the Burkhan.
one hit. Is that one hit on the.
Yep, that's one hit.
Yeah,
second hit, down he goes.
Perfect. Oh, 100% accuracy, Roland 3. Yes,
This was the best buy I made
is
this entire
pretty
game.
impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least personally, when I see the Rolands, I think.
Oh, side shot. That's
Roland-
one side shot. Oh, second side shot.
Jesus, I was not seeing this Roland during the game. My God.
Oh,
Its kill list is impressive.
Oh my
Armor.
God.
It's very nice.
The hero of.
That kind of goes against what I was about to say, where I see one Roland and I think of it as basically no Rolands. But if I see 2 Rolands, it's like,
You're not getting out of that.
yeah, just consistent death to planes.
One
Unless
is
it's
way
two
less.
armor.
I think they've lost the CB in Charlie as well, the tank CB they brought up.
Yeah, they did. We pushed it out with the Leclerc. I think got that kill.
The Verkenning as well was putting in.
Oh yeah,
damage.
yeah. Especially because I made sure the Leclerc went up this way, and the Verkenning is going to split angles again just a little bit. But this Roland 3 is at Elite, and was at Elite before that exchange, which might have made a bit of a difference.
Just
I'd fast
another
move into the
note,
form just to give the crew a few beers.
with your Rolands.
One.
Obviously, you're pretty busy at the time, but and you can just
No.
regroup them, share their ammo, and
Oh, and then
definitely
split them
be
up again.
quite
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
easier.
LAR 160 is still shooting in. I've actually captured their fob and turned it all off because it's a tourney and I
Should
was
have resupplied your Panzer Grenadier.
Oh,
Should've
yeah,
kept
you're
them
right.
first, huh?
No, I think what happened, I turned it all off and then I sat there wondering why they weren't healing.
They're busy going, oh my God, we gotta get into the zone. We gotta get like a +3.
Yeah, because I mean, 7 minutes left, we're up 214 points. That's just, it's a lot. +2 wouldn't even really get them there, would it? That's be like, what, 180 points or so?
Yeah, I believe so.
So they need a +3, and,
Yeah, and it's
just
worse
question
than that. Like, we're ticking, which is... I mean, look at all the stuff on the right. This is, I think, a big part of the issue was where... I'm not sure, like, their approach to the match where... You have
I didn't
to
actually
contest
see-
Alpha at some point.
I didn't actually see the start, but like I would say, like when I see the 2A5s in Alpha, I'll be like, huh? Why is the 2A5s in Alpha? Like I don't know. Usually for
yeah,
this,
I think they're finally making their migration.
the great tank migration.
Fly
If
east
you
for the
look,
winter.
there's like probably more than 200, 300 points.
Oh,
of
you think the
infantry
Heos
over
gets the
there in
longbow?
Alpha.
Does the Heos get the longbow? Oh, this is quite scary though.
This is
This
This
is
is quite scary.
yeah. So the Tiger buy
Crotal
is there.
zero?
My
Okay,
Crotal is
this
out.
is okay. The Crotal, the Mankari is actually coming to resupply the Crotal.
Yep.
It's 188 supply.
Just keep smoking it. Just keep smoking the leopard.
The mortars are out of ammo.
Yeah. I mean, fire and
No,
forgets
no.
though.
Yeah, if you look at the triple stack of mortars is about to be out of ammo, and they actually get M110 smoke on the Leopard 2.
Ah, you can't have one Tetsuo. Oh my
So
god.
this is something I was going to ask you because I know you love your mortars and all
Infantry
that.
CV in the base. I think.
It almost seems like for smoke you don't want to do that with triple stacks because it burns
No, you
ammunition
don't.
that much
It's
quicker.
just a bit of a micro.
For HG, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
One man alone making his
Yeah,
way.
100%. You definitely want at least 2, though, I'd say, for most case scenarios, because you'll get trolled by the smoke, where it'll be like fading for a second, and then you'll just
And like the little gap.
not be happy.
I had one of those against Osama bin Lifton the other day where I thought I was fine. A little bit of a gap. Nope, not fine. Down goes my super heavy. Down goes my Moderna.
People lose their sanity.
Yeah.
They're actually.
Oh, the Shinav!
They're
Oh.
rocket potting their own fire.
What they were what now?
I think they have like auto attack on me.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah.
Yep, the farm's dead.
HCA.
So 4.5 minutes left. We're up 250 points almost.
There's no
and-
way they can come back.
No,
I
like,
Yeah,
think.
it's-
Like,
you'd have
even
to-
if they beat.
I think we're gonna see the. You were freaking out a little bit, but it's like, listen, it's fine.
I
You're
was
gonna put
freaking
the
out a
tank
lot.
civvy in the corner of the map. Just you can go AFK.
Right here.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the friendly
queue up
tank
all the
civvy
smoke
going
on
to the
left.
back of the map.
I don't think you brought it out yet. I think it was
No,
like
at
with
some
2
point.
minutes left, and I was just sitting there going,
I think
"But
I
they
might
can
have still
still
been
kill
worried
us."
at the moment too.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the great tank
This-
migration,
this hot
double
ball right
Leclerc.
there.
Finally, the tanks are being used. Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not wasting.
And we got an HC Abrams down. I mean, they were over there for a while for good reason. There was an M1A2 over there. I just didn't respond. When they switched, I didn't. And
Yeah.
that left a lot of
okay.
points on the board without any functional use, which is the last thing you want to do. But there's a longbow, there's double HC. I would normally take that fight, but I had
you
nothing
still
that
have
could hit the
more
longbow.
protons?
No. No, I'd
We're out
used
of
one.
No,
We had-
Right, and you should keep it there to save the CV.
There were plenty of requests for Crotalis.
Yeah, we're sitting there
Oh,
going,
here comes the M110 smoke.
yeah.
The mortars are all out.
Wait. Where's the
No
M110?
way.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
No, it's
These two.
I don't
Oh,
know.
Let's see, Rangers, so he does see it. Longbow, and that was the Shinov too. I love the Shinov
oh
too.
does
I think
wait,
it's
does
really
the longbow
good.
get
Ooh,
it? I think it gets it. No!
The M110 smoke.
No.
10 HE artillery
No!
smoke.
Oh.
That-
The HE smoke.
That is not something you see every day.
It
Far
is
from
not.
it. So,
Yeah.
that is, I think, pretty much going to be the game. Let's go a little quick here. I do want to get into some of the MVP units just at the end. And then this
I
was,
want to
as I
see the
said,
Roland 3.
it's a best out of 3, so we have a couple more matches for you guys. I'm not going to spoil how many. It might be 2, it might be 3. But we do have some more time with hopefully both Rara and Grape Jellyman commentary as well. So this was a hell of a game. It's one of those where I was almost tournaments sometimes. If you win or lose one bracket and you go on to the next one, you sort of want to take a break before you do the next game. I almost wanted a break after this one, and it was the first in the best of 3, just because so much sweating was going on here on my
It's
side.
definitely a pretty tight game all the way through. I mean,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
feeling pretty
Points
comfortable
wise, I
towards
think
the
you
end,
guys-
but
Yeah, I think like conquest points guy wise, you guys like it's a clear winner, but
playing the objective is
Necessary.
I
pretty
think,
good. Let's just say that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Reminds me of.
you can decap all your zones and still win.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
I heard a really
Takes it
funny
must be.
story the other day about people who they were losing pretty hard on points and were losing the zones, so they bought one CV, sent it backwards like you're doing right
There
now,
it is.
and then intentionally decapped
Oh!
everything and got a tie.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
once
some
you're
10
past
v 10
400,
destruction.
once you're past
Oh,
450
tactics.
points, it's impossible to get a. Well, once your opponent's at 450 points, it's impossible for your opponent or for you to get. If you have more, like if victory conditions are within the draw conditions, you can't get a win unless you kill all the CVs.
Which is why I prefer to get to around 430 and then not be able to get past there. So, kills, losses, 6,865 kills for our team, 7,450 losses. Was a little bit favored for Nick Demand and FeelsGoodLost, but 250 conquest points to 29 does secure the win. In terms of high-performing units, the 2A5s did get a surprising amount of work done in the early game. Late game HC Abrams kill was nice, M2A2 Bradley, plus some R290. I really don't know how the Leopard 2A5 killed that.
Not quite.
Oh no,
Mars.
that's the Mars. Yeah, my apologies. And then other good units are going to be things like the... Ooh, my Leopard 2A1s did nothing. Super Entendant got the M1A2 and a Magok, and then Kratal taking out things like the Nimrod was pretty key. This is the Roland 3.
Roland.
Look at that. Kurnos 2000, Baz, Kurnos, Thunderbolt 2, Yasor.
Panzer
65
Gun.
points.
Oh, that's the Panzer Gun
65
squad on the
points.
base.
Yeah, this was the one on the base. Actually, Nogler and
Paladin,
Bernhard.
nice.
So M1 Abrams, Ontos, double 63 is our 163 CS, M1 Ontos Paladin.
Wow.
It's the reason I wasn't even more negative. It was those two men. So that's going to be all we've got for you guys today. Thank you all for hanging around, and many thanks to my co-commentators today for their contributions. We'll see you guys again real soon.